Halfway through May 5th, the Japanese managed to grab a hunk of the road at Kohima. Um, Everywhere else, the only other place they really made an attack, they did some artillery bombardment. They're spending supply to do that now because it's becoming more important in their mind. But the only other place they attacked was down here against the West Africans, Chindits, and they failed. They disordered them with artillery fire, but still didn't get the hex. May 8th in Burma, the Allies managed to retake Kohima and advance a hex against the Shadzup line. And they still have all their Chindits in place that they ever had. However, they haven't been able to get supplies to them, as you see. That's about it. Oh yeah, one other interesting thing. They managed to completely surround a couple Japanese units down here that are out of supply. To do this, this guy on the end had to take a chance of dying. If we can get a Chindit down there, which hopefully we can at some point, that will fix the, or at least reduce the whatever risk there is to being like that. May 12th, Burma. Not a lot of movement. The Allies did manage to kill off those Japanese surrounded units. And the road looks very good right now after that one attack down in this area. It is a little bit of threat, but nothing really too serious. Over on the Chinese front, not a lot of movement. They did a bombardment with the airplanes. It didn't get them anything, so they didn't make an attack. Chindits have improved their supply situation. One of those units down here is still out of supply, but they moved supplies into the town and fed most of the troops. They also added some more donkey transport to make it a little easier to get supplies in. The overall supply situation, especially on the Imphal Dinapur section, is really, really terrible. This is about all they got left. Which, if they can get it down to Imphal, which if the road stays open they can next turn, they can survive probably another turn's worth of problems. But that's all they got, so that's kind of painful. Halfway through the 12th of May, the big news is the Japanese have now pretty much completely surrounded the White City, which means those Chindits are in a lot more trouble than they were briefly just a little while ago. On the other hand, up near the Imphal region, the 31st Division is pulling back. It's a little early for that, but we'll see. 15th of May, only real movements to the east. We see the Chindits have actually opened up a supply route, sort of a very tenuous one, snaking through. That's not a mountain trail, that's right over the mountains to the city, or village. And the Chinese have also advanced. They lost a unit doing so, but they're just trying to compromise that Japanese line there. Halfway through the May 24th turn, took a break of a day. Alright. Saw some movement down here. This is on the Japanese side. They managed to take this fortified town, Hengetown, whatever, they took it at the loss of a unit. The Brits lost a unit to the bombardment, actually. And then over here, they once again cut off the rail, the units that are cutting off the rail line. They're trying to starve them out. They pushed some of the Chindits back, but they took a loss of 2 units doing so. May 19th, another important hex along the Shadzup line falls, and more importantly maybe than the hexes falling is the amount of supply that's being spent. The Chinese and Americans are definitely spending a lot. They had to throw about 10 talents in, but the Japanese had to throw 3, and they're down. They're running out. And the Americans are also, or the Allied forces are also low on supply right now in general. They got a bad roll this turn, but theirs keeps coming. But the Japanese are down to 2 talents there. And that's all they can reach unless they haul some more by hand, and they don't have a whole lot more down here. enough for another couple battles. But until that rail line is reopened, things look pretty ugly in terms of getting supplies up there. Speaking of reopening the rail line, the Chindits didn't really get a chance to do anything. They dropped some more supplies behind them, but and their city didn't die, but they are definitely in desperate straits there.